Alright. Let's make sure everything's set here. Excuse me. And everything... Audio levels look good. Do I need to raise that up slightly? Okay. And... no, we can actually lower that back down just a touch. Because I'm just in my normal speaking voice. Hit that button. Lower that one a little bit as well. And we should be good overall on that. Otherwise, let me go ahead and put my prediction up for this OFCRA match. Blue 4 is going to be U.S. Marine Corps. Op 4 is Panama Defense Force. Doesn't like how long that is. That's fine. We'll go ahead and throw that up, just making sure I'm staying on the map itself here. But if you guys want, you can use... let me just make sure it's working. Awesome. Oh, I love it when the everything actually works properly and nothing breaks. Let me make sure the chat window's up as well. Excellent. All right. This is going to be part 2 of Operation Just Cause for OFCRA. This is a PvP commentary for those of you that are new. And otherwise, looking at our max player count, we got about 90 people on the server, so this is going to be about a 45v45. Past few weeks, I've noticed there's been a little bit of a decline in players for PvP, so we'll just have to play as is with everything. But nonetheless, I'm going to go ahead and look at the mission breakdown here. So, both sides have 2 common objectives of capturing a monitoring station before the hour marker and capturing a military base. Monitoring station is worth 2 points, military base is worth 3, so monitoring station is right here. That's going to be worth those 2 points. Military base at the end is going to be worth 3. Blue 4 have 45 minutes to destroy the power area, which I'm assuming is at the electrical transformer. That's only worth a single point. And then there is a CIA agent they have to bring to a rescue point. I'd imagine the CIA agent is going to be located in that prison. Rescue point, I believe, is on that aircraft carrier. And then an extra point for killing the enemy commander, and then a survival bonus. If you have more than 8 people alive at the end of the game, you gain 3 points. Usually those are given unless one side is completely getting destroyed. All these extra purple triangles, I think, are going to be extra vehicles for anyone that gets stranded. But otherwise, definitely a tighter knit AO here. And then we also have a little bit of the Panamasian I'm going to say Panamasian forces. Feel free to correct me, but basically it's Panama Defense Force versus United States Marine Corps. But the Op 4 element does have a bit of guys that are going to spawn right into the center of the objectives, and then reinforcements coming in. Blue 4, I don't know what these 2 are. These could potentially be frigates, and then that is an aircraft carrier back there, so we'll see what they have. Maybe it'll be an amphibious assault from 2 clicks out. They could also go up the river and come up to the flank, but overall, that is everything. Op 4's objectives, by the way, protect that area on the electrical transformer for 45 minutes. Keep the CIA agent in the prison, so if the CIA agent exits the prison but doesn't go into the cash-in point, those points are not going to be able to be gained from either side, and then kill the enemy commander, and then they've got their survival bonus as well. So, let me go ahead and open up chat. Again, if you want to reference those at any time, you can just check the mission command, and that should be able to get you into everything there. What do I think of the new Twitch rules? I'm going to level with you. I haven't even looked at the new Twitch rules. I haven't even gotten an email from Twitch saying there's new Twitch rules. I'm going to tab out real quick and check, because that is something important I am supposed to keep up with. But I'm checking my inbox here. Yeah, the only thing I have from Twitch is from the 2nd of December when I sent a report in about some chick spamming, or some chick streaming with her big hubba bubbas out, but yeah, I got nothing in my feed or anything, so as far as I know, there aren't any new Twitch rules. Basically, you can now have nudity and... oh. Is that why a bunch of chicks have been naked on stream now? Because you can now have nudity on streams. That's funny. That's really funny. As long as it's art? So, what, in video games can I have chicks with titties out? Because I'm gonna be honest, I'd love to host an op where we just have anime girls with their titties out. I mean, hell yeah, let's do it. Why not? Sure. I'm down for that. I'll go call up Devour King and put $1,000 down, and we'll make some frickin' we'll make some hentai models right now. Let's go. Oh my god. Anyway, round has begun. Some of you are asking who the ground commanders are. We got Wombat commanding Blue 4. Op 4 is going to be commanded by Joseph Porta. Otherwise, I'm going to do a breakdown of the assets, and then if I have a second, we'll break down the players as well. I'm going to turn down the music slightly, because it's a little loud for me. It's a little overbearing. I want to be able to hear the people on the ground. So I can turn it down here. Oh, that's too much. Yeah, we'll do that. All right. Because I want to be able to hear the local voices over the net. Anyway, Op 4's forward position here. Looks like we just have a few transport trucks. We got some ammo crates for them as well. We've got some Scope Springfield bolt action rifles there. Some AK-74Us, and then we got some FNFALs, or basically the equivalent, basically 20-round 7.62 by 51 rifles there. Op 4 reinforcement convoys include some Dishka Vics. We got an SPG-9 UAZ as well as the 2 Dishka UAZs. We got a BTR. I'm looking here. We got some SVDs in play, some GP-25 systems, some RPG-18s, and then a bazooka. That might actually be a super bazooka there. Other Op 4 group, we've got basically the same thing. Another BTR, 2 UAZs with Dishkas, 1 UAZ with an SPG-9. Interesting. Looking at our 2 Blue 4 groups, it looks like one is pretty much a landing frigate flanked by multiple destroyers. Wow. So that is an LAV-25, and then we've got 2 AAVPs with GMGs and 50 cal. That's nuts. And then we got 2 50 cal boats still going with. These are U.S. Marine Corps kits, so we're going to see M16A2s, 2 49s. I see some AT4s in play as well, but that appears to be it. I'm looking for any like marksman rifles or whatnot. We got some MP5s for the crewman slot, some spare ammo, but that is it. We got Blue 4 over here. Oh my god, really? 2 LAV-25s and 4 AAVPs. Oh, that's a lot of vehicle tonnage to work with. And then Blue 4, we have a single transport Little Bird. That, actually, no, we got a second. So these are going to be really important to at least keep one alive so that they can at least ferry the prisoner out of the AO. But these guys are, let's see, they're the SOCOM guys. So we've got skate helmets with NVGs, though I don't think they'll need the NVGs. 249s in play. I don't see any suppressors for these guys. I do see some scopes for some of their team leaders, which have the GL on the bottom. And I don't know what's going on right here, but... all right. But anyway, let's go ahead and read off our elements here. So Wombat, as I said, is leading. Gerald's leading Bravo with Coster, Wojak, Duckfrox. I'm going to call him Germa. Adrasip and Gregory. Callie leading Charlie with Barrows, 12-Stripe, Roland, Depso, Spirit, Cheeseburger, Ardizorg, and Kermit. TK Llama leading Foxtrot with Brixie. I'm assuming these guys are just going to be a vehicle crew in the LAV-25. Golf being led by Newton with Rodrigue, Alien, Dava, and Toxic together. Gonzalez leading Hotel with Oliver, Penzel, Carco, and Vincenzo. Okay. Twig King leading Oddball, Killer, Solomon, Kui, Davidson, and Camred. Zixme leading Demivar, Ash, Swola, Major Khan, and NASA. And we have Settler, Adamek, and Montes as a 3-man group. We'll see what they do. But Joseph Porta being Op Force commander. We have a squad being led by Mr. White with Flip for Flap, Delta, Emil, Mancho, Rizbo, Jonathan, and Rick Hunter, Jexta, Sandrock, and Popov being in, or that might be just POPOV, I don't know. All in Oscar together. We got Samuel, Lewis, something CT1960, and Orn together. In Quebec, we got Wiki leading Priprench. No, it's Pio Trapani. That's it. Damian, Marty, Techno, Nox, and Templar. Andrelia and Warkus together, probably doing a vehicle crew. Tango being led by Alexander with Green Thumb, Sam, Korvac, and Nemesis. Pingus leading Uniform with Howell, Ukrainiak, Uru, Dawidox, and Lesiak. And then Pierce leading Whiskey with Nolik Fond and Meerkat. So some familiar names, familiar faces. We got Pierce, Nemesis, NASA, Mancho. Mancho runs the whole operation. NASA's my liaison to everything. Twig King, aka Cardboard. That's at least his in-game chat name for not in-game, TeamSpeak. And then one of my favorites, Zixme, always one to watch. He's going to be going in with a Mark 24, no, an M14 today for the marksman rifle. I just want to check these little purple things. Yep, so those are cargo transports. And then let's go ahead and look over our AO. So we have a little electric station right here. I'm trying to see if there's something to interact with, or you just blow something up. As far as I know, it looks like I think they're just going to be working to blow that up unless I see something to interact with in here. What to specifically blow up, I don't know. It's probably written in the mission command, so I'm just checking all these rooms to see if there's a laptop to put on or whatnot, but I think it is just to destroy the objective. Looking at the prison, prison's located in this small complex. I'd assume he's going to be in the actual prison here. He's a CIA agent. Blue Force trying to recover. Op Force trying to prevent him from leaving this prison area. Don't see him anywhere on the first floor. Could be somewhere on the second floor. And I don't see him, but he is somewhere in this quote-unquote complex. He could also be... yeah, he could legit be anywhere. So actually, I'm not going to try to find him specifically because I don't want to accidentally stream snipe his position. He could also be in this building, though. But yeah, no, he is somewhere in there. And then you have the final military base out here, which, oh my god, all right. 2 Mi-8 transports in a Shilka, but I believe that's going to be locked for this game because that could be a very powerful weapon if not locked. And then you have the monitoring station over here, which is just a little military buildup in the slum area. It's got some nice towers working with it and whatnot. But this is a 90-person operation, give or take, and it's going to be about 45v45. Blue Force numbers, just doing a quick estimate here. All right, and then we go on to OPFOR. Yeah, okay, so Blue 4 have about a 4 or 5 person advantage here. So OPFOR having to basically stretch out. This means that they're going to have a defense on basically these 3 areas in the opener and then potentially move over to the military base. That's kind of a tough one, especially if OPFOR wants to potentially play with some of their forces to be mobile, like the SPG-9 cars driving around, the Dishka cars driving around. But I'm going to be honest, if Blue 4 makes landfall with these vehicles, I mean, it's going to be absolutely devastating for OPFOR. Because the AAVPs you can scope in the 50 cal and that 40mm GMG, but those LAV-25s are going to be very, very good at sniping enemy vehicles, and OPFOR really doesn't have a lot of defensive capability for them. I mean, we've got the SPG-9 cars, cool, but I mean, the BTRs can pen with the 14.5mm, but I haven't really seen any dedicated OPFOR AT teams with RPGs and whatnot. I mean, this is just kind of what they're stuck with. So this is going to be a tough one for OPFOR especially. So, I mean, just with that vehicle tonnage alone, I'd be willing to give Blue 4 the advantage. But, I mean, especially for the prison area... yeah, honestly, it's only for the prison area where we're going to have a lot of urban CQC. Like everything else, you still have these nice little suburban areas and these open areas for those Blue 4 Vics to really lock things down. You also have to remember, though, that OFCRA has a script where if you interact with a door at the base of a building, you can access the rooftop. And I think having a scout or two on some of these really tall buildings to help scout out where Blue 4 is going to be quintessential in OPFOR tasking the SPG-9 cars to find where especially those LAV-25s are and just go in and annihilate them, because otherwise it's just going to be a massive guessing game. And I don't know, it's going to be a mess. Otherwise, you've got the vehicles deploying. You still have one holding. Looks like they're going to be making a beeline to the shore, or they're going to potentially come around and try to utilize the river and come along the flank and completely get away from OPFOR. But right off the bat, you've got OPFOR's command element coming out here potentially to get some recon on those vehicles coming in, and that is going to be a smart call. But you got convoys coming in. A single vehicle on its own, that is a Dishka car coming in. But we'll just have to see where OPFOR sets up their defenses at this point. And then you got the Blue 4 helicopters both in the air, going around, potentially going to be doing a rear insert orbital somewhere on the southern side, but you've got them orbiting around the left flank here. So that's interesting to see that they're going to be on a completely different vector, because we clearly see the main ground force going around a different angle. Interestingly enough, we see Wombat and Captain Morgan staying behind. Morgan might just be AFK. Wombat, I think, is intentionally choosing to stay back there, just so either a helicopter can pick him up and move him later, but that also puts him out of harm's way, because if he gets killed, OPFOR just gains a proxy point. But I know Blue 4 for this attacking area is definitely going to need coordination. But you have to remember, in the first round of this campaign, Blue 4 lost pretty significantly, because we saw some Chad with an AKS-74U shoot down a Venom gunship filled with a bunch of dudes, and Blue 4 was just never able to really recover after that, so we'll have to see how things go. I think really the biggest risk for Blue 4 right now, though, is OPFOR finding where these vehicles are coming in from, because you got to notice they've only moved a few hundred meters in the span of the round beginning, so it's going to take another like 15 to 20 minutes for them just to get the shore if they were to beeline it here. But I mean, just going slow, if OPFOR sights where this is and they get their SPG-9 cars up the shore and start sniping at them, it's going to be a very... Ooh, it's going to be a very tough call for Blue 4. They're going to potentially lose a lot of forces early on. I'm a little worried about that because we already have one of the SPG-9 cars coming up, and it could start ranging shots on them. But you got to remember, Blue 4 have those defensive weapons as well. If they're quick, they can coordinate and snipe stuff accordingly. But if we were to go to long view distance, something anyone can use. These guys can clearly see the spawns, and you can hear
me?
Joseph Porta trying to get into radio contact with someone, because I think he sees his fleet moving.
Okay, thank you. So yes, Tango, nothing changed for you. Keep the harbor, because I don't know where the enemy chopper will go.
So OPFOR is disabling that vehicle to prevent Blue 4 from potentially using it as a transport piece. Tango is the element over here in the harbor. Command was basically telling them to hold there in case the choppers tried to land over there. But we clearly see another force coming up. Papa has the Dishka. Does Quebec have the SPG-9? They do. So they're going to be the force harassing this element here. And OPFOR just has a lot of time to develop on trying to take those elements out. I feel like it would have been a little more fair if Blue 4 was a little closer to the coast. This is kind of forcing Blue 4 to go around on a very big side, but they have a lot of defensive weapons to screen. And we got 3 AAVPs out here. We got the 2 LAV-25s on the rear. They're trying to let the 4th AAVP go forward. But this is incredibly risky for Blue 4 to make such a wide maneuver, but we could see the SPG-9 start raining hate. It's just going to be a matter of can OPFOR accurately put rounds like a kilometer to a kilometer and a half away from any defensive positions, or is Blue 4 going to be able to pretty much snipe with those autocannons anything that tries to come up and hit them? So this could really go either way. If I was in OPFOR's shoes, though, I would quietly track this group coming in, and after they enter maybe 400 or 500 meters within range, then start peppering them. Because if OPFOR gives themselves away early on, they're just going to have all the guns trained on the coast and potentially get super suppressed and not be able to pull anything out. But we'll just have to see. Blue 4, meanwhile, has landed very far off, and they've opted to leave one of the helicopters back here, I assume as a backup, in case they need to get the prisoner, grab a vehicle, and then pull him back to that position. And then you have another little bird landing well back here. And...
Bro, am I next?
Well. Who's
Are
next?
they
Who's next?
doing something with the heli? Like,
No, they fucking like I don't know, bro.
I'm not.
yes, guys, run away.
I don't know, bro. Am I gonna? Who's next?
So, Twig King, Dudeson, and Captain Morgan are dead.
Wait, I test. Go up to that edge. See if you
Dude,
die.
I'm not doing that.
I'll do it.
Oh, okay, yeah, the heli is killing.
So this was an OPFOR heli that Blue 4 have procured, I guess, before the operation began, but now they've come to realize that the helicopter has somehow racked up 4 kills. You know, that's pretty incredible. So, yeah. I've never seen that before, but hey, Arma 3, you never know what might happen in a PvP scenario, so that has really annihilated over half of the infantry. Looks like the admin is respawning them now, but half the Special Forces team annihilated early on due to helicopter shenanigans, but look at that. Looks like this helicopter was spotted. It's not helicopter, excuse me. UAZ with a Dishko was spotted, and now you've got everything firing on the rear. Looks like one of the LAVs has allowed some distance between them and the rest of these forces, but they're actually shooting at the harbor elements. But now you're starting to see this massive amount of suppression come in. Yeah, Special Forces indeed. Alright. So, tree line's going to be suppressed here. That is going to make it a little hard for the SPG-9 car to come in and open up. I think OPFOR should have waited a little longer just to see where these forces went. But you could also potentially see Blue 4, if they really wanted to play this defensively, they could come around like this, land in this area, cut through, and then utilize that bridge or river to then cross and hit everything from the south. It would have taken them a while, and they would have probably been detected, but this is just a tough spot for Blue 4 to really work with. And it gives OPFOR a lot of time to really hold the vehicles at bay if they just want to start plinking at them with SPGs. But you got to remember, I think the SPGs do have limited ammo. But it looks like Blue 4 is being all respawned after the cursed helicopter decided to kill everyone.
Drop the end laws and shit, bro. I don't think we're supposed
Channel
to have
6,
that.
everybody grab your kit.
So they're having everyone re-grab because I think they can only get respawned as Blue 4 vanilla NATO troops, so that's pretty funny. Shh, possible. Shh, details, buddy. Don't worry about it. Otherwise, I'm going to be honest, this is going to be a very extended early game. I always like to, for OFCRA round, since it's an hour and a half, I like to divide the hour and a half into 3 30-minute terms. First 30 minutes are your early game, middle 30 minutes your mid game, last 30 minutes your late game. For most OFCRA missions, the game is usually determined by mid game. Early game has most of the contact, and then you have cleanup in mid game, but this is going to be one of those rare exceptions where almost the entirety of early game is going to basically be maneuvering, because either the AO is massive or you have things like this where Blue 4, I guess the attacking or even defending faction, are forced to just work with really slow-moving vehicles or really difficult terrain features, which impedes progress. Now, we are already having contact in early game, but I doubt OPFOR is going to be in any real position to exploit it. Now you got this force right here being engaged because, I mean, every gunner is looking at things right here. We see some return fire going out, but I don't think it's really going to last. But that BTR with that 14.5mm is a threat. But can it get shots accurately on position as we have a massive amount of 50 cal now returning from these screening vehicles, though this one only has a 7.62, but it also does have an autocannon. And we are seeing autocannon shots starting to range out on Rizbo. Beautiful shot right there. The gun was hit, and it looks like they have been hit too. Ouch. Alright, so that was a little tough there, but whew, shit happens, right? Alright, so let me adjust things on my audio side real quick, because my mic was peaking a hot second there. And let me do one thing on the tab out real quick so I can still be loud. There we go. Alright. I don't know why, but past 2 or 3 weeks I've been having some weird audio issues, and I'm just trying to get that all corrected, but whatever. We do what we gotta do, right? Alright, so otherwise Blue 4 returning fire here. We see that shots are still coming in. And we see that a lot of Op4 is now pretty much turned into this forest and engaging. Emil has been knocked out. I don't see anyone dead from that BTR exploding, so I believe everyone was able to get out of it in time. But yeah, no, I think Blue 4 are going to try to go for landing right here and then cutting through the forest and then doing a flanking attack, maybe utilizing their special forces elements to basically recon out a route for them, or at least be in positions where if Op 4 tries to then come and flank, the special forces can immediately pounce them, which leaves an opening for the other special forces group back here to move in, but they're also just holding this position. So I think their intention was to land here, lay low, and then potentially get back on and then move out, but maybe they've been stuck there because they're still trying to grab their shit. So I think the helicopter is going to have to be remounted, and they're going to have to get closer to make up for lost time, but we'll see. But now Op4 is going to try to risk getting the SPG-9 Vic in. And I'm going to be honest, this is a very, very risky maneuver here, because as soon as that thing gets detected, we are going to see shots go out on it. Oh, but you see this vehicle pulling security and immediately engaging it with its autocannon because they realize that that is a massive threat. SPG-9 car pulls back, hits a rock. They go a little more inland, but they could find an angle, and I think they're mentioning that they have an angle here. Tracer shots now going in. Blue 4 close to making landfall. We got that rear AAVP in the formation trying to prevent Op 4 from deploying the SPG-9 properly. The one issue I have right now is this lone LAV-25 on the rear watching. This guy was basically here to screen the rest of the force to get in. It's just, I hope something stays to cover him, because otherwise he's going to be alone and he could potentially get sniped by one of the two SPG-9 Vics that are definitely on the coast by now. So we're just going to have to wait and see how all of that comes in. Still got that Special Forces team watching this angle. I'm telling you, Blue 4 is going to come around, and I think they're going to use that bridge to screen. It's just going to be another 5 minutes of maneuvering. But first vehicle is on the shore and moving in. Rest of the vehicles are coming up. And I honestly think this LAV might actually stay in the water just to keep Op 4 forces pinned here to give Blue 4 the ability to maneuver around. That would be my bet. Op 4, I can understand why they didn't send elements out after realizing that Blue 4 is probably coming around to this position, because to get there, they'd have to cross that bridge and then drive through a bunch of jungle. And I'm going to be honest, speaking from experience, I'm going to be genuinely surprised if I don't see one of these Blue 4 Vics get armored in the jungle, because driving big, bulky vehicles in jungle areas is just a recipe to get your vehicle armored and destroyed. So going to be tough for Blue 4 to pull this off. They could just drive around on the coast, but that's going to cost them valuable time. So I think they're just going to risk going from this open area to that open area, and then here and then on the road, but we'll just have to see. Half the convoy has made it. Rest of them will be coming. Foxtrot still holding rear to keep enemy forces pinned, but by now, Op 4 need to realize that Blue 4 are making it on the coast. So they need to pull back and hold defensive. If not on the objectives, then at least on where this bridge is down here, or just run them down on the coastline. But you're hearing autocannon fire going on. It's hitting the transport truck. No KIAs inside, but definitely making some elements pull back. And I mean, if Blue 4 were able to destroy the transport vehicles and pin the Op 4 infantry in this forest, that would definitely impede their advance. Keep them in this area, and then Blue 4 could literally just come around with their vehicles and hit the rear positions. Because you got to remember, the transformer here is cashed in at the halfway point of the match. Prison cashed in 2 hours, an hour in. Same with the morning station. Actually, is the prisoner an hour in objective? I know the monitoring station is morning station. Good God. But the two far objectives from Blue 4's current position are the ones that are timed here. So we'll just have to see. But you see Oscar has mounted they are potentially now going to either go for that bridge or go for somewhere in between. Another decent crossing point would be this little thin area to minimize distance. And then there's just a thin little bit of jungle for Blue 4 to get through. But at this point, I mean, there's so many ways Blue 4 could do this, but we're seeing a dismount here. You know, this could just be a massive fake out. And look at this open area. You've got a lot of room for Blue 4 to have vehicle coverage. You have some forces dismount, set up a base of fire. They might just cross right there and not risk driving through the jungle. But they're going to make Op4 think that they're going down in that direction. But then again, when they're this close, Op4 just has to listen for those AAVPs because they are very loud. So we could just see Blue 4 do an amphibious assault right here to get to that little open area, and then they'd be in striking distance of pretty much everything else in the objective. So you might have the Special Forces group just go up and either start attacking the flank, or they could just go for objectives outright. I think either they're going to start going on the flank and hitting Op4 to help the Blue 4 force push in, or they're going to keep going and try to make it to the prison. Those are honestly their only two options at the moment, but it looks like the helicopter was remounted and they were granted a Humvee. And I think the Humvee was granted because Blue 4 lost so much time. Because I think they were planning on dismounting, helicopter took off, and then they'd move in. So that's, I think, just as, you know, since they lost so much time on their maneuvering. But they're definitely going to dismount it early. They're not going to drive right into the objective with it. So that's just to help them out. I understand that admin call, though. Got to keep it slightly fair because they lost, what, you know, 10, 15 minutes of maneuver time. So you got to do something to make it up. So it's a good one. Otherwise, Op4 dismounted here. You hear them locally calling out that this vehicle's coming out. M60 gunner turned out and engaging. 50 cal looking. But they're driving right to that area here. So this is a test vehicle right now. If it can drive through, I think they're going to remount the rest of their infantry and then go for that little crossing point as well. But very risky to have that one unit going with no support. We see Op4 also firing on the coast, thinking that there might be a staged element there. And you have the GMG firing canister shot in here, basically giant shotgun shells. And we've got the RPG-18 out. It's looking around. They really don't understand where Blue 4 is at the moment. Now you got Blue 4 doing a massive dismount here. AT. He is honestly lost. He has no idea where the vehicle is, not realizing it's literally right behind him. But he has been spotted and he's taking fire. He's genuinely lost. He's like, where's the vehicle, guys? I don't see it. You guys told me it was on the coast, right? It's not on the coast. Where is it? Bro's literally just getting out of here as the rest of his four-man team gets annihilated here by a close contact engagement. I've never seen someone get that lost because you would at least be able to track, and he just fired and missed. So that was a single-shot disposable AT weapon, so now this Op4 group has no way to take it out. I'm going to be honest, if he reacted quicker, he probably would have been able to get it, but we see the SPG-9 car has come up and hit the vehicle. Gun has been disabled. They are pretty much dead if they stay in that vehicle because they're going to rearm and hit that SPG. Second shot misses, but they are now taking fire from the Special Forces. That vehicle gets taken out by the Special Force Overwatch team. Dawodox trying to line up another shot before he gets taken out. Oh, it hits the tree! Marksman fire going on Dawodox. He is trying to quickly reload it, not realizing that the rest of his element has bailed out of this position. He needs to get in the driver's seat and go. He realizes he is now under fire, goes prone. But we've got some great Overwatch coverage by the Blue 4 Special Forces element. I told you they would be coming to do some flanking support, and they are now delivering. Rest of Blue 4 still on the other side. They're actually crossing on foot to the little island and having a drawn-out engagement right here. You do have Foxtrot in the water, though, as somehow TK Llama has dismounted from the vehicle, and he's swimming after the Vic, and I think they just realized that he got out. How did he get out in the first place? I don't know, but there you go. We're hearing more AT coming in. That could very well be Quebec. Yep, their SPG-9 car is now firing in. But Blue 4, they've got a good amount of Overwatch elements here. Some more infantry coming up on Overwatch, but this is just going to be a drawn-out engagement right here. But this could allow for Blue 4 Special Forces teams to actually go and get the objectives done. Since we got this one so close to the prison, but now OpForce turned all of its attention over here. These guys could run up, hit the electrical transformer, and then move to the monitoring station or even go to the prison and hit OpForce's one backline. So a great play by Blue 4 here. OpFor not really doing the mobility they need, but at the same time, if Blue 4 were to make it on the coast, I mean, OpFor doesn't really have a lot to deal with that. The SPG-9 cars, I mean, great intention there to bring it, but there was no overwatching flank security. Everything was tied up in the northern forests, and honestly, OpFor never saw it coming. Rest of this OpFor element's getting tied up and taken out. We see another SPG-9 round coming in on Bravo's position here. That SPG-9's really just focusing on the infantry because it can't seem to get an angle on the vehicles. The jungles are just too thick. But what I really don't understand is how is Blue 4 going to maneuver the rest of their infantry across this position? A lot of it, it's going to have to be remounted. But it's probably going to be up to Charlie to now move up the coast and actually hit these positions directly, force OpFor to route, and then Blue 4 can remount and push in. Because if those jungles, if those Vics try to push up on their own, they're going to get picked off. They need something to basically secure the flank. Otherwise, they're screwed. I mean, that's what they had with the Special Forces team overwatching. So Charlie just needs to now sweep around. But very risky to push that vehicle in. I think they were relying on the Special Forces overwatching from that hill to see if anything came. It worked out for them. It was close. But they need to basically now do that again for the rest of the mechanized platoon to move over, because if they start getting cocky and just move in, that's where OpFor is going to be able to pretty much bounce things back. So let's see if Blue 4 can make this work. Ball's on their side of the court here, but we'll see if tensions flare. Zealous, thanks for the 9-month resub, broski. I hope you keep enjoying the operations. I hope you get a nice kick out of this scenario. You have Blue 4 pretty much plinking at OpFor positions here. OpFor smoke. This is where Blue 4's calibrated sights are going to be very useful because they can use them to scope in and pretty much take out any OpFor that are running around. OpFor are going to have to go deeper in the jungles, but can risk coming back out if vehicles try to drive up point blank. Really, we just need to see a continuous motion over here. But what's kind of confusing me is we've got OpFor pushing in to where a previous position was engaged, and a lot of Special Forces elements are now pulled back over here. And we only have NASA overwatching on this side, so I really don't understand why we're not seeing continual security from this position. They've pulled back. I don't know what engaged them to make them think that way. Maybe they're now bumping over their next objective, but they should stay on that blocking position to assist Charlie to start pushing the flank. And if they stay along the coast, they can be covered by the other element, and they only have to worry about stuff deeper in the jungle. But at that point, honestly, move Charlie over here, set up a defensive screen, have the vehicle stay outside to cover anything in the open or anything in the jungle that would push into that defensive element, and just funnel your troops across the way Charlie went, and you could get all your forces over. Blue 4 really gains nothing by keeping this position up here. That's tying up a big chunk of their forces, and from the looks of things, they're going to remount, potentially just try to cross up here. It makes no sense. Cross where it's open. Cross where you have the coverage. This is where OpFor could potentially bounce back. Maybe Blue 4 put Charlie over here to draw OpFor over? But now Charlie's keeping in this position, so this almost looks like a feint here of, well, that worked. That's going to draw all of OpFor's attention. Maybe now if we land on the opposite side, there will be less resistance, but now there's going to be no coverage element, and if OpFor realize that a vehicle is moving, they're just going to turn their AT guys around and strike it. So it's really confusing what they're choosing to do, but you still have the vehicles picking off anyone that gets too close to the shore there, but it's a weird call. You got Blue 4 on the monitoring station. Not sure if they'll send anyone up to the electrical transformer. I think they'll just forego that 1 point to OpFor to keep the monitoring station, which will give them 2. You've got OpFor also getting on the rooftops here to do reconnaissance. And then we have a little bird flying around. Oh, she's up high. All right. I thought she was landed with her engine on, so I was looking for her, but no, that's not the case. Really Weird calls. This was an anti-fun mission? Yeah, it was. It's definitely more in Blue 4's favor with all the vehicle assets. I feel like OPFOR needed some sort of defensive autocannon, but you can't bring that up because then it'll just start sniping the USMC boats, which is why they gave you SPG-9s instead, but OPFOR definitely needed some more medium anti-tank to fill the gap. I'd say they needed 2 or 3 MAT teams, pretty much one on each flag, I think would have been a proper counter to these vehicles, especially if you're going to force them into CQC situations. Dwarves, I did not. I'm not focused on MCO till next year because I want to focus on a bunch of other stuff. And actually, fun fact, if you go look in the Arma Polls room, you'll see some of those things. But look at how risky this is. Blue 4, they've got Overwatch directly on it with a 50 cal, maybe GMG fire that can come in, but the only option this vehicle has is to immediately dismount its forces. But OPFOR could immediately respond by throwing grenades on it, anticipating a dismount, or Orn could try to push in with an angle with his RPG-18, but OPFOR might just run. It's a really weird call, and now the AAVP's turned around? If it's being a bait vehicle, why would you load it with all the infantry if you're baiting? This is a really weird call by Blue 4 Command. I'm not sure if this is how Wombat wanted it played, because there's just a lot of weird calls being made, period. I think they're just trying to feel out what OPFOR is doing in response, but this is just giving OPFOR more time to pull it back and do stuff. I don't know, man. Yep, we do have DayZ this weekend. I do need to put it on the schedule. Then you got the Oscar element still holding back here, wondering what's going on. He only had 1 KIA. I'm actually surprised. Blue 4 going for it again. Whiskey finally spotting the Special Forces group skylining and firing back at them. Weird calls here. Yes, I would say Blue 4 it definitely has a masterful baiting strategy here. We see OPFOR getting picked off and eliminated by more Overwatch. Smoke immediately pulled them over, and you got 3 KIA right here. And that is the risk if you're going to keep OPFOR so close to the coast, is Blue 4 just going to be able to pick them off. Rather just stay inland, and then when you hear an approaching vehicle, just run up AT it and go away. You could even bait the vehicles by throwing smoke grenades in different areas that you're going to charge up on, draw the attention of them as you then run up and hit it with AT. I don't know, I feel like this is very, very much in Blue 4's ballpark at this point, because you also have Blue 4, they've stolen the SPG-9 Vic, and now they can potentially use the HE rockets on it against infantry. What is smoking over there? Did the chopper land and do something stupid? No, a UAZ came over and got annihilated. That was ground command for OPFOR. Not realizing that Blue 4 had a Special Forces team over here and absolutely got shot up. These guys are now going to move. They might go up to the electrical transformer because Blue 4's heli might have reconned that out. So they might go up, destroy that, and then fall over to the monitoring station. But I think Blue 4, do they have a cameraman in that vehicle, or is Oddball just solo flying that? Oddball is solo flying it, but he's been basically looking around. Maybe he's been... I don't know if the pilot can access the camera, but if he flies a straight vector, he can get on the camera, potentially check to see if there's anything in there, and he might not have spotted anything and told the Special Forces guys to just go and beeline it, so they're going to go up and try to destroy it. Yeah, so OPFOR doesn't have a ground commander anymore. It's going to be up to the squads to coordinate, but I think because of that, you're already starting to see some forces route, but some forces are still staying pinned in the forest, so we're going to see a force divide here. We see Quebec trying to push up with the SPG-9, though. Because, again, the AAVP, I'm not sure if it's intentionally backing off or it's actually struggling to land its forces up here. But either way, playing chicken with the full squad of infantry, and then the turret's looking this way instead of that way. Turret is clearly not broken, but like why is it loaded to bear if it's, I don't know. Autocannon now firing. Shots going into the SPG-9 car, forcing it to pull back, but what are they doing with it? Oh, those are the canister shots hitting things. Yeah, so the excessive amount of canister shots will lag the server, which is kind of funny. Same with thermobaric. But yeah, no, they're just running for it because they're taking too much fire. So you got Blue 4's other Special Forces group. They have basically landed over here. They got to find whatever they need to blow up. They'll get that point, then they'll probably move to the monitoring station. That's going to secure 3 points for Blue 4. This Special Forces group, I think, is going to be pinned on that hilltop until they have some sort of supporting element come up and pick them up with an AAVP. Because you got to remember, an AAVP can transport an entire U.S. Marine squad, which is at least, like, I think 12 or 16 people. Like 15 or 16, because you usually have 3 4-man fire teams and then like a 2 or 4-man element or 3. And the AAVP is meant to transport that entire team. So they're big. But they work. So I'm assuming if Blue 4 is playing by standard 6 or 8-man rules, they definitely have enough to grab the Special Forces team and then push in somewhere. The question is where? Because by Charlie not coming up and establishing the beachhead right here, now Blue 4 have a bit of a divide. Charlie's going up to pick up the Special Forces team, or at least support them. But now the Blue 4 group is unsupported across, so they're relying on their own means at this point. But OpFor has pulled everything back, but with no command, they're kind of just lingering around here trying to figure out what's going on. But this is all outside of the actual objective areas. So Blue 4's one Special Forces team is now going to be able to pretty much grab everything. But you can tell that Wombat has kind of lost control of the coordination of elements here. Or his guys are just giving him impartial information because he had the opportunity to have a really nice platoon push here. But instead, I think Charlie was sent over to support the Special Forces because they reported they were taking heavy fire. Rocket comes in. It is short, though. And then the rest of Blue 4 is just kind of being held up to dry here. The risk right now is OpFor reforms and pushes and hits this Special Forces and Charlie, and they're able to reform the border to prevent Blue 4 from coming in. But with the loss of Joseph as OpFor's commander, I don't see that level of coordination happening. So we're just going to kind of see a slow fizzling out of OpFor's forces as Blue 4's force finally reconvenes, is able to cross, and they hit the remaining objectives. And it could go either way, but the fact that Kilo's already on target, they're going to be racking up a good chunk of the points overall. I think OpFor's already lost this because all Special Forces have to do is move into that facility. The rest of the QRF can move into that facility. OpFor can hold the prison, get those 2 points, cool, but 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, you do the math, that's 6-2 at the end. And then even if the survival bonus is procced for OpFor, even if they kill the enemy commander as well, because you have to remember, Blue 4 also gain a point for the commander kill. I don't see OpFor winning this one. And I'm going to be honest, with that asset divide, it was going to be very difficult for OpFor to win the fight in the first place. It had to really rely on getting Blue 4's vehicles in and then just maneuvering the SPG-9 car inside to snipe them from the rear. Coordinating with the rooftops up here, but nah. I don't think it was meant to be. But honestly, I think Blue 4's own communication is defeating them and as they try to figure out how to cross this thing. Another important thing I want to note is I did see Charlie take the SPG-9 car, but where did it end up? Because if OpFor find it and recapture it right now... Well, that's the dish gun, a transport truck. I was about to say, is it right there? Does OpFor actually have an opportunity to, like, remount it and then shoot people? Interesting. You know, I wasn't expecting to see this trick today, but it appears Blue 4 have submarine capabilities here. And, I wasn't expecting to see that, but okay. So, if Blue 4 have this as an option, why haven't they been using this to transport I feel like this would be much safer because you have the water to cover everything. But it turns out this LAV is just kind of on its own. I think the crew's fine. It's just, again, that can transport like 8 people. So why isn't Blue 4 transporting via submarine? Who lives in an LAV under the sea? Oh my god. And then why is Charlie deployed all the way back here with their vehicle here?
I mean, we don't have ammo anyway.
This vehicle is useless.
It would
Just
give
use
you
for transport at the moment.
in Cali's plan it would work.
So they're saying the turret's been shot out, which you actually see it is shot out because it got disabled early on, but it's still a transport vehicle. You can still rush in with it. And the enemy doesn't know it's useless. You can just put it up there and it's going to make people put their heads down, but looks like Blue 4 have reformed most of their group and are crossing where Charlie originally went. And then you still have these groups going on foot with their vehicle bout. I don't understand that at all. And then you've got OPFOR firing up at the helicopter. But the rest of the force is going to reform with the elements over here. Whiskey's moving into the military base because that's honestly their only strategy at this point. And Blue 4 are making a push from the electrical area here. I'm going to assume they did their job here and interacted with what they needed to interact with, but that's still only worth the point. So I'm going to assume Blue 4 has 2 points at the moment. They left the monitoring station empty, but I think they're going to have the helicopter or something come down at the hour mark and recapture that, because I believe the special forces are now going to go for the prisoner. And if they can secure the prisoner, they'll call the helicopter down and get him extracted. And then I assume the rest of them are going to pull back to the monitoring station because they're trying to sweep all of the points they can here. And that makes sense. I'd rather commit and do something more fun than just sitting around for another like half hour. But clearly OPFOR has all their attention right here. But now you got the LAV-25 with its coax and autocannon. And that thing will definitely start sniping at chuckleheads on rooftops.
Лавка, Марказ, блядь, лавка на 140.
And I think these guys just realized what they are up against here. Oh boy. Yeah, that tracks. Anyway. The rooftop boys realized the problem. The BTR did not. In fact, the BTR is now dead. Therefore. So with that extra asset gone, I'm hearing the bazooka firing. I think it might have actually hit Hotel's vehicle. I do see some turret damage, but the turret is still able to transverse up, so I think the turret is still active. But those AAVPs are a lot more armored than you'd think. The turret is definitely going to go out if there's any topside damage before the vehicle actually detonates. Which is why I was surprised to see 4 of them, because they are very, very tanky, unless you hit them on their engine block. Helicopter flying overhead. Special Forces definitely utilizing this insanity here to get in, but there is actually not a lot of point security on this position itself. Now I am going to look, because I don't think it really matters at this point where the CIA monkey is, but I'm looking. You know, I'm going to level with you. This really strange thing is I can't find him. He's not in the shower room. He's not in that back room. He's not in there. There he is. There's the Fed. But yeah, you got everything else on OPFOR firing up at this Blue 4 position here. You have Blue 4 now trying to go into the jungle, but OPFOR have turned a big chunk of their forces around. You see November is going for over here, but this group's now pulling back. Hotel are trying to cross the river, but drowning. Actually drowning. 3 people have drowned here. Why? How come 3 or 4 people died by a freaking helicopter, their own helicopter, and now 3 people have drowned? Like, what? What is up with this? What's up with that? Why are Blue 4 literally losing to the environment? I'm gonna actually count the skulls here. We got 1. We have 2. Nope, he's a drowner. I'm not gonna count him. More people have died to the physics in this game rather than OP4 so far. We've had 6 or 7 deaths to the physics. That blows my mind. That honestly blows my mind. Now you got Blue 4 up on the rooftop here. Funny enough, they are taking fire from their own forces here. I'm waiting to see the autocannon come up and hit this area. Looks like Solomons was planking fire at Alexander. He did take damage because he's limping. But you see an example of the script working where they just utilize the door and then come back and forth. You know, you're right. They didn't give enough to the electric eels, and that's what's costing them. You're absolutely right. I'd laugh my ass off if that wins for Monday, but I digress. For those of you that aren't in the know, we have an op poll at the moment for what the Monday op's going to be, and one of the options is electric eels. Is Oddball landing Wombat? No. Who's Oddball landing? I don't see a helicopter symbol. It's Killer. So, 1 reinforcement to come in. Little Bird's still flying around. OP4, I think, realizing there's vehicles coming around. They're taking out the UAZ Dishka to potentially shoot at the helicopter. AT even fired up at it. Ain't that something? They got Nolik around here. Might catch Newton. Nope. Fired before Newton would cross. Newton's now trying to engage, but Nolich on his last shot knocks Newton out. And I think Newton was on the multi. Eels is number 2 at the moment. That's pretty funny. I gotta rework that poll, though, to make sure that it's only my players voting and not just random viewers. Because we always have some of that. So more Blue 4 coming down. They're going to try to secure that military base. They're relying on the special forces to get to that area. And then we've got the AAVP over here. It's been shot and disabled. A lot of Blue 4 deaths over here. You got Hotel kind of alone in the back corner. But yeah, Blue 4 is taking attrition damage because they decided to separate out. But I guess maybe the logic was to then keep OP4 separated as well. It's kind of stupid because Blue 4 had the vehicle assets to properly support main attacks, but they've just opted to instead divide and conquer, which, again, just has allowed them to take needless attrition damage. These guys back on the roof. AT4, not sure if he saw Warkus through the window, but I think he's calling it out at least. Ah. So I think the Transformers were here, and they needed to destroy that barrel. And, I don't think the Special Forces elements actually had anything to deal with it. Tripwire flare mine going off right here to alert any OP4 in the area that Charlie has come up. So OP4 technically have a point from that because Blue 4 didn't have the equipment to destroy it. That's unfortunate. Next cash-in's going to be in the monitoring station. Here's the deal. If no one's in the monitoring station, then no one gains the points. So the prisoner is actually really important right now. Korvac taking fire. He's going to run into Depso. And Depso gets annihilated because he stole an SVD. And Korvac does have an RPG-7, so he could put fire on that vehicle. We see a grenade going out. It's smoke. He opens that door. He's trying to draw any fire. Blue 4 now pushing his position. Bad time for Zorg to reload, but Korvac is running for it instead. Nemesis covering rear. And, wow. The Boomer really is coming coming of age. I mean, that was a great shot. Unfortunately, that was your teammate. It just goes to show, even members of Scandia Recon aren't immune to my scrutiny. Oh yeah, great lead cover, I agree. How you doing, Polly Guion? So Settler, we see him doing Overwatch. We see that OFCRA remnants are there, Quebec on that smoke. Is that one of Useless Fodder's emotes? Just asking for curiosity. Solomons came up here. Looks like we only have Warkus still alive, but there were other OPFOR elements here, yep. So he was able to sneak in and take them out. Interesting. But at this point, Blue 4, Nemesis is fully pulled back. He is the only guy still alive on this side. We hear a vehicle cook-off. That appears to have been an OPFOR... Based on the fact we have this back here, this was the SPG-9 car. I don't know if that was Quebec's or the other one that was captured, but Blue 4 now have plenty of room to get into the prison complex and take the remaining survivor. I don't see any Blue 4 committing to the monitoring station, though. Hey, right on, man. He's a good guy. But we'll see Blue 4 slowly make their way in there. I'd imagine with the helicopter, unless Nemesis or Warkus pull some crazy shenanigans, Heli's going to be able to land and take it. Looks like the wheel, only one wheel was shot out from the UAZ, so Warkus could technically repair it and drive it in, but he's going to have Overwatch cover shooting at him if he attempts that. But Blue 4, I guess, are just committing to trying to take the military base. And you see that they pushed around. Fawns is down right here. Some other Blue 4, or excuse me, OPFOR dead around this position as well. Wounded mounting over here as OPFOR getting suppressed by one of the AAVPs. And the other guy is taken out as well. Final point tally, I'm assuming, is going to be OPFOR having 1 point, Blue 4 having 6 or 9 points. This is assuming OPFOR doesn't get anything remaining on the objectives. Blue 4 plays the rest of the game properly. And at least maintains 8 personnel. OPFOR, I mean, we see some groups reforming back here, but with all the open areas and Blue 4 with vehicle control on this overwatching hill, there's not really any way for those infantry to actually commit. What I am worried about, though, is Blue 4 shooting their own guys, like so. You got Roland firing up here with 3-round bursts. It's making these guys think twice. Waiting to see if Roland will actually shoot him. You know, I mean, if a Blue 4 helicopter lands on that rooftop, that's definitely going to make the Blue 4 on the ground think twice, because if they see a friendly helicopter landing and not taking fire, that probably means they're friendly, right? We just had Bazooka come in and actually destroy that vehicle. Swola on the rear, though, switches to his binos, but the Bazooka gunner, Hoel, it was Marty that got that kill with his bazooka, so that was one of the MAT teams. Smoke grenade goes out, grenade goes off and kills one of those guys. Second grenade went out. Good attempts by Swola here. He's just unable to line his grenades up. These are stun grenades, actually. So he's trying to throw everything he's got. Unfortunately, it's just not making it. Marty is pinned. So it's funny because his buddy's trying to coordinate to move to him. Here comes Swola with a single kill. He runs up. Hoel trying to get a shot on the other Vic. Potentially hits Hotel with an HE round. Swola now coming around. Gonna get Nox on the rear. Nox gets killed on the last shot. Swola on 4 kills. Hoel now looking around, unsure where the enemy is. He gets killed. Swola on 5 kills. That was beautiful. A great takedown of one of OPFOR's Super Bazooka teams. I said earlier that OPFOR needed some medium anti-tank teams, and it turns out they did have one. And, well, Swola just came in and cleaned house. He's double tapping all the bodies. He's doing everything perfectly here. That was a great play by one outstanding individual here. Also, good thing to note here is we do have Blue 4 trying to resuscitate some of their wounded guys. I saw 2 uncons out here. It's down to 1, but at least they're trying. So I will give them credit for that, but that appears to be it. Now, looking in the Blue 4 base right here, we have another dead OP4 member, probably tried to hold out. You've got... I don't see our CIA member in the prison anymore, so I'd imagine they have him mounted up back here. Yep. So they're going to probably pull him out and then get the Little Bird to extract him. Blue 4 being quickly redeployed. I think that Little Bird was landing to deploy up Blue 4 back here so they can get back into the monitoring zone. Helicopter's flying over just to check it out. They do have a +1 in there, which means someone is using the camera, but I'd imagine they're going to get rerouted to pick up the VIP and move him out as well. So that's just going to be 2 more points for Blue 4 as that hour mark is about 6.5, 7.5 minutes away. That was great to see. So yeah, Blue 4 losing some of the Vicks. It just goes to show that if OP4 wasn't playing chicken and giving Blue 4 the distance, they could have just gotten close to some of the vehicles and sniped them off if they allowed Blue 4 to get more inland. But, you know, coulda, woulda, shoulda. This just played out kind of weirdly, and it didn't help that OP4 lost their commander early on. Here's the really fun part, though. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nemesis knows what's up. Gets a kill. It did hit. I was about to say, I think that dude might have body blocked the RPG round, but in the blast, he was able to get 1 kill. Is the VIP dead? He is not. Blue 4 returning with their own noob tubes, but wow. Corvac, thanks for the 24-month resub. Borowski, that gets you a Silver Lance Corporal badge. I hope you keep enjoying the operations, my friend. I hope you get a nice kick out of this scenario. So yeah, Nemesis now on 0 kills because he did technically friendly fire and get a -1, but that redeems it. I think he's going to desperately look for more AT if he doesn't have any already. Because I think Blue 4 is just going to opt to get out of here. And you see Blue 4 is blindly suppressing as the Little Bird is now coming in, going low. That definitely shows you their intention. If they want to move the VIP out, pick him up with the Little Bird and just get him out of there. Nemesis, I mean, great opportunity for what he had. He tried to aim to where the engine block was, or at least where the driver of the vehicle was, but AAVPs on the lighter warheads from like RPG 18s, 26s, the single shot disposable stuff that the Russians have, it just doesn't really do a lot to an AAVP unless you hit it directly in like the front engine block, which is actually a much smaller area than you'd think. So you got them pulled back, helicopter now going low. They're going to try to pick them up and move them. Special Forces staying in that other position. Blue 4 roughly around the military area ready to go, but you do have a small OP4 counterattack group. Papa's still back there with 3, but November's still at full strength. Maybe we could see November pick off the hotel vehicle and push in. But mathematically, the only real way OP4 has a chance of winning is if they get Blue 4 down to 8 or less players to nullify the survivor bonus. I doubt we're going to see Wombat come in on the mainland to risk giving OP4 a point. But if then OP4 is able to take the military base, that would give them 4 points total. Blue 4 at the moment, they're going to gain 2 from that position. They're going to gain another 2 by taking the prisoner out. And they have killed the commander, so that would be 5. So I actually don't think statistically there's any way for OP4 to win this game. And you see the VIP on back there. AT comes in, hits the vehicle on the side. Engine smoking. Oliver gets killed, or at least knocked out on the dismount. Some of Hotel's forces now turning around. OP4 with the numerical advantage here again. If Blue 4 stays this well separated, OP4 is a pretty decent shot at knocking out quite a big chunk of infantry. I just don't think it's going to be enough. Blind grenades going in. These are smokes. Panzel trying to stay back. Rick Hunter trying to come around to flank him. Gonzalez and Alien turning around as well. OPFOR seem to be really focused on this open area, though. Another RPG comes in, gets the double tap. Another hit. Rick Hunter takes fire. I think his launcher is slightly exposing him. Grenade goes out. Really great drop on that grenade. That's going to get Rick. Wow. You actually saw shrapnel hit him in the head for that one. Yeah, Korvac, I saw you had the RPG-7. You were actually in a really good spot to get it, but you were pushed, and you pulled back instead. And I think Nemesis shot you. Yeah, now you got OPFOR coming in, but autocannon fire and some rooftop fire from, I believe, Swola, if he's still there. No, it's Zixme. He's the one with the marksman rifle, though, and he's on 3 kills, mind you. That with Gonzalez and Alien pushing in. Panzel staying low. Definitely took a lot of damage there, though. He's going to have to quickly attend to medicing. He's staying low as OPFOR's trying to push his position. Oh, but friendly fire might get him. Oh, Panzel, I'm rooting for you, buddy. You are really lucky. 3 rounds came out, so Blue 4 did intend to kill you, but they might have quickly realized, wait, you're friendly, and ceased. Or they ran out of ammo, but either way, whew. So this OPFOR element being reduced. Still see some fire on Panzel's position. That is Demivar. All right, if his score goes to 0, we'll know we'll get the team kill here, but he now crawls around, staying low. He's actually getting shot from under the vehicle. He's got a scope, so he's scoped out under the vehicle. You can see where the grass cuts off, so he was able to pick him off. Oh, that's funny. Imagine getting blue on blue. Alien Gonzalez pushed in, they got knocked out, and as I say that, Alien literally gets blown back. I guess he remembered he might have been, you know, part of that Alien versus Predator movie in the jungle and tried to leap back, but unfortunately, lead stops that. Oh well. It too, Blue 4. Yeah. Alright. You got the monitoring station secured. You've got this group coming in. You got the military base secured. I mean, this is pretty much over. OPFOR have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 forces remaining. 1 more player death, and they won't be eligible for those 3 points on the survival bonus. Blue 4, though, looking at their numbers, we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14... 15, 16. There were 2 in there, 17, 18, 19 with command, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So even if OPFOR were to trade 1-to-1, Blue 4 is still going to more than likely get the survival bonus. And that's probably going to be it. Do players respawn? No, Muffin. This is a 1-life PvP operation. Almost every, I want to say like 98% of all OFCRA and FNF matches are 1-life. OFCRA we run on Thursdays. It's an hour-and-a-half long PvP match. And then, excuse me. After 45, I think that's supposed to say an hour right there because it is the hour mark at 1:08. Wow, great grenade throw by NASA. He was able to get a kill on an OPFOR guy throwing some defensive grenades. We'll see if that one catches him. It does not. But they're now pushing to take the rest of these guys. And then FNF is Friday night fights. That's 3 50-minute rounds, which tomorrow we're going to be covering all 3. But I'm not going to be doing any streams in the evening. I'm going to go out with Bloodwind. Interesting to see NASA on one side, Mancho on the other. Usually NASA's my liaison to the events, and Mancho is the French guy that runs everything. So interesting to see them pitted together, or apart like this. Or the Adriano. I don't know where Adriano is. Mancho takes some shots at NASA. He quickly radios it, pulls back, has his reinforcements come up. We got a 3-man OPFOR team coming in, trying to secure this area. I gotta love that Vincenzo is still being medicked. Nemesis tried to run up here to get an angle. The LAV is super confused why they're taking friendly fire at the moment, not realizing that They're taking friendly fire, and I think they just realized, no, it's behind them, and now they're driving away because Nemesis was up here. So yeah, the IFE was like, why are we, well, those are our friendlies. What are they shooting at? They can't be shooting at us. Wait, there must be something behind us. And then they just comedically drive off. Hey, Spooky, how you doing? Oh, oop, it's getting a little foggy too. Just that realization of, why are they shooting up here? Oh, probably because there's bad guys. We should go before we get AT'd in the ass. Fish and chips were great, and I made leftovers and ate them for lunch. I could have salted things a little bit more, but Bloodwing said they were perfect, but she prefers less salt than I do, so for her they were good. For me, it was like, I could tweak it a bit more, but nah, they came out great. Nice and crispy, too. Oil could have been a little hotter, could have gotten them a little more golden brown, but they weren't anemic. It was still good. I still can't believe last night the jetpack shenanigans I did, and then towards the rear half, Bloodwing was literally stuffing my face with cookies as I'm jumping around trying to stop that VIP we were trying to get from getting escorted out. Oh, jetpacking with a shotgun, man. I didn't think it would work that well, but holy shit did it work that well. And it really did help that the enemies had my gun, so I could just loot them for ammo, because I was only able to carry like 36 shots at once across 6-round magazines. Well, there was an OFCRA guy there. Unfortunately, he's been killed, and I'm willing to bet that was Nemesis. No, Nemesis has entered the rear of this military facility. He's going to one-man this. All right, you said where Audrey Hotto was. Fun fact, Nemesis was one of the admins, I think, at the time that audited the Audrey Hotto incident. So, let's see it. Blue 4 have the high ground in that little barracks area. We've got AT fire up here, the last guy of November, Mr. White. Normally a really good player, but he is completely outgunned and outmanned. He does have a skeletal AKS-74U. More AT coming in. Blue 4 now trying to hone in on where the enemy is. Special Forces even hunting them down from the other side. OFCRA down to 4 players. Nope, 5. There was a double up. Nemesis closing the distance. Knocks Dava out. Quickly hears gunshots, so he folds in. Goes on the second story. Solo breaching. Oh my god. That's another one killed. There was a thermal barrack warhead. He doesn't turn around and see Callie. I think he's about to get dropped. Does a reload. The gun gives him away. Oh, if his gun wasn't sticking through, he might have been able to get away with that. But look at that. He still gets a few good drops there. But damn. Leave it to a little Arma bug to give you away on that one, Chief. That was still good. Still balling. OFCRA down to 3 up with 1 additional guy unconscious. They fire a GP-25 round from their grenade launcher at the helicopter. If it explodes, I'm right, and that is a GP-25. I love how it was landing there and then clicked on the tree and actually slid off, but I digress. Mr. White having his holdout here. Can he channel his inner Audrey Hotto and get away from this firefight? Survey says no. Oh, that's just disrespectful. Demovar, please, he's already had enough. Little Bird has landed back there, ready to pick people up. No, the pilot's even coming in to join the fun. Ah. Wounded wakes back up. It's Warkiss with Orn and CT with the calligraphy I can't read. And I think they're just gonna wait it out. We got 25 minutes left on the game clock, but it's pretty much GG. Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, when you're in tense situations like that, you don't really think about it, but you could shut the door with control space with Ace, and then you could hold it so that no one can open the door. Both of these guys are uncon. I think they're dragging the guy that was shot out here up into the building. Work is taking fire. Medican rolled him to the right. Let's see if he's spotted. I'm waiting to see the machine gunner just tear it apart. And I'm waiting to see him either use his 203 or his AT4. And he only had 2 bullets left in the in the box. Oh, these two got spotted by the autocannon. Oh my god, he... What in the double jump? What? I have no words for that one. I'm waiting to see that machine gunner tear him apart, but I guess they just gave up on it. There are now 2 OPFOR players remaining. Yeah, he flew somewhere, that's for damn sure. Anyway, guys, in 2 hours, we will be back for POG at 7 p.m. Some more Zeusing, where they will have to work for their frigate. And then they'll have to assault a secret underground base that my Twitch chat made, and I'm kind of disgusted with it. But hey, we've got furries, we've got underground bases, we've got an Anzac-class frigate. I mean, there's so much shenanigans to work with. Will we ever have a serious resemblance of a campaign again? We'll have to see. I'm going to keep it on the serious quote-unquote narrative, but yeah. If they ask for a carrier and we win a carrier, we're going to have to do some weird naval op, or it's going to be a land carrier. Who knows? Righto, Spooky. Well, you can always catch the VOD on YouTube when I get around to posting it, or live on Twitch. Well, not live, but on Twitch. You know it. Work has turned around, firing at Camred. Unfortunately, can't find the angle because Camred drops enough so he is able to get a little bit of cover from his angle. Work has looting bodies. It looks like the other guy was killed off. I don't even know where he was, but it's clear. Oh, I think NASA dropped him right there. Damn, NASA. All right. AT fired into the building by Warkus. That was, I think, an RPG-18 he picked up from the dead body there. And he gets sniped out by Callie, and that is GG. Blue 4 win. Again, doing a final point tally. I think OPFOR only got a single point. But, nope, here it is. It is 9-1. Yep. That tracks. Alright, guys, we will be back in 2 hours for the POG op. I might start trimming a little bit earlier if I feel like playing some Dark Tide or whatnot, but yeah, we'll see. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Go operate operationally. Enjoy the rest of your day or night. Cheers, and have a good one.